Okay everybody, in this video we're going to be reviewing the problems in the worksheet for the variable length subnet mask problems. So on the right here I have the process that was written down at the top of the document, and then are the problems on our right hand side. So let's get started with the first one. 190.24.25.0/24. This, as you can see, has 24 bits in the subnet mask, and we are going to set up a variable length subnet mask for this. As we look down below, you need a couple of networks. Network A is going to be 45, network B 2 hosts, network C is 120, and network D is 25. So we've determined the number of networks, which is 4, and how many hosts are in each. Now we're going to order the networks based on the number of hosts from highest to lowest. So I've got the largest network that I have here is C with 120 hosts. The next largest network is network A with 45 hosts. Then network D with 25 hosts, and then finally I've got network B with only 2 hosts. Great. From here we need to determine the appropriate block size, which is large enough to hold the number of hosts. So as we look at our powers of 2, and starting out with 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. 128 is what I need to hold the 120. For the 45, we're going to need a 64. For the 25, we're going to need a 32. And for the 2, we're going to need a 4. Let's move on to our network IDs. We're going to start with a 0. Then we're going to do basically the 128 plus the 0 is going to give me a 128 here. Okay. Next we go 64 plus the 128. That's going to give me 192. Then the 192 plus the 32 is going to give me 224. So that identifies our network IDs. Let's move on to our first hosts. So 1 plus the network ID, 0 plus 1 gives me 1. 128 plus 1 gives me 129. 1 plus 192, 193. There we go. And 224 plus 1, 225. Now, we'll jump out to broadcast, and we're going to do 1 less than the network ID of the next level. So we're looking at this 128 here, and we're going to do 1 less than 128 at 127. Then we're going to do 1 less than 192, which will give us 191. Then we'll do 1 less than the 224, 223. And then for this one, because it's small, your last is going to be 226, and then your broadcast is 227. Okay. Let's fill in our lasts. We got 126, 1 less than the broadcast, 190. Then we're going to have 222. CIDRs. So how many bits did we need for the 128? We're going to have a /25. For the 64, you need a /64. For the 192, which is 2 bits, or the 32, that's going to be 3 bits. So that's going to be a /. Oh, what are you doing? That's not a /64. Sorry, gang. That's a /26. This is going to be a /2027. And then finally, with the block size of 4, it's going to be a /30. Okay? So that's the answer to our first problem. All right. Moving on to our next. We'll just copy this. So let's take a look at our networks. We're starting out with the same network ID with a /24. We're doing 45 hosts on A, 2 hosts on B, and 120 hosts on network C. So again, network C is the largest with 120 hosts. Then we're going to have A with 45. This looks almost identical to our last problem. And then B with only 2. Our block sizes are going to be 128, 64, and 4. Your network IDs are going to start 0. Then 128 plus 64 is going to give you 192. 190. No, I'm sorry. Getting ahead of myself here. 128. 128 plus 0 gives me 128. Then 128 plus 64 is going to give me 192. Let's go back to our firsts. First is going to be 1. Then 129. Come on. There we go. 193. And I can finish this off because then it's 194 and 195 with a /30. Okay, so let's go out to our broadcast. Broadcast is always going to be 1 less than the network ID, 127. Then network ID is 192, so broadcast is 191. Let's get into our lasts, 126 and 190. Our citers are going to be 25 and 26, and then followed by the 30. So that's your answer for problem number 2. Once you get this pattern down, the process down, it's really not a big deal. Okay, so let's work on problem number 3. So I've got 45 hosts for A, 2 for B, 120 for C, then 25 for D, and then 6 for network E. So again, we'll do A. Oh, come on. We'll do A, and it has, or not A, what's our largest? Our largest is C at 120. Then we've got, next largest up is A. That's at 45. Then we've got D at 25. Then we've got E at 6. And then we have B at 2. All right, we'll fill in our block sizes: 128, 64, 32, 8, and 4. We start out with 0. Then the 0 plus the 128 gives us 128 here. The 64 plus the 128 gives us 192. 32 plus the 192 gives us 224. 224 plus the 8 is going to give us 232. And I'm going to complete this line. The first is going to be 233, 234, 235 with a citer of /30. Going back up to our first here: 1, 129, 191, 225. Now let's go out to our broadcasts. 1 less than the network ID: 127, 191, 223, 231. And then finally our last addresses: 126, 190, 223, 222, and 230. Okay, and we'll finish our citers at /25, /26, let's see, what is that, 27. Then finally we've got 8, and that's going to be a /29. Okay, so there's your answer for problem number 3. Let's move on to problem number 4. Okay, so network A is 45 hosts, B 24 hosts, C 65, D is 2, and E is 6. So let's go through this again. We've got A has 45. No, C is actually larger. So C has 65. Excuse me. A 45. Then we've got B with 24. Then I've got E at 6 and D at 2. So we've got 5 networks all together, okay, with the respective hosts. Now we move on to the block size. So 65, I can't use a block size of 64. It will not hold the 65. So I'm going to do a block size of 128, then 64, then 32, then 8, then 4. And honestly, based on this, if you look at these numbers right here, they're the same as these numbers right here. So all of this is going to be the same. Okay. So I'm going to take what did I do there? Oh dear. Now that I look at that, that right there should be a 193. Sorry gang, that's 193. Not quite sure what I was thinking there. So this here is going to be 192 and this is going to be 193. That's correct. Okay. Okay, that's right. Okay. Okay, everything else is okay. So we're going to take that. Put that there. That is going to go right there. Okay. So there's your answer for number 4. Next, we've got number 5. Okay. So we'll take this. And network A has 45 hosts. Network B has 24 hosts. My block sizes are 64 and 32. My network ID is going to start out with a 0. The first is going to be a 1. 64 plus the 0 gives me 64. First is going to be 65. Now, just to help me out, I'm going to do 32 plus 64, which is going to give me 96. This is not to say that I'm doing a third network. I'm just getting that value so I can get my broadcast address of 95. And my last is 94. Up here, my broadcast address, as usual, is one less than the network ID of the next network, so it's 63. And its last host is 62. This is going to be a CIDR because it's 64, a CIDR of 2. Then a CIDR of, well, not CIDR of 2, but there are 2 extra bits, so it's a /26, and then a /27. All right. So those are the answers to the 5 problems. As always, give me a call, send me a message, let me know if you have questions. I will put these files together and I will put them up on Canvas. Alrighty, thank you very much.